So we're officially in crunch mode, so we got a month left until we need to be in Florida for the Drag and Drive event Sick Week. And of course, you guys know that we're taking the Cadillac as well as the Trailblazer SS. Good news is we've been making actually a lot of progress on this thing here. So that we will talk about in a moment because, well, yeah, we'll talk about it. So Trailblazer, it is coming along pretty good. I've actually been hustling on this thing pretty hard and got a lot of the top end motor together. So the push rods came in, so we went ahead, stuck the push rods in there, got the rockers back on it, got the valve covers on it, pull packs, whole 9 yards. And we're starting to lay out some of the wiring now. So some of the things that I do need to do, since we do have a little bit different accessory routing thing, is my alternator wire. I need to extend that now that the alternator's down here. Just got to make that a little bit longer. The air temperature sensor, I did have this in the intake tube, but I'm actually going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put it on the back of the intake instead. So that way when we put the turbo on this thing, whoop, we'll talk about that later. So moving forward, we've got over here on this side, we are getting ready to hook up the catch tank stuff. We're just waiting on fitting. So I try to like really plan ahead on both of these cars to get as much parts here so we weren't waiting on anything. But on the fuel fittings, I had to kind of get everything laid out before I could order that. So we are waiting on that stuff to get here. That way we can go ahead and get all the catch tank and fuel lines knocked out. Other than that, we are very, very close. Got my 34-inch belt, fits perfect on my accessory drive down there. But very, very happy with how all this is shaping up. Wound up reusing the intake tube that we had with the stock intake. And I think I'm going to probably use this on the drive. And it just sticks the filter over here kind of out of the way of the fans. But I think at the racetrack, I might actually do a velocity stack setup. So just pop this hose clamp loose and do a extended out velocity stack to get it in front of the cooling fan so it's not pulling a whole bunch of hot air in there. But we're pretty close on this thing here. Not really lacking a whole lot. We do have a dyno appointment scheduled like the 3rd week of January. So that'll give me enough time to go ahead, start writing a bass tune for this thing in the Holly. And then I'm going to kind of work on some of the drivability and idle tuning. That way it's probably like 3/4 of the way there before we're ready for the dyno. And then we'll go ahead, we'll stick it on the dyno, we'll do the wide open throttle stuff. Fingers crossed, if we do our homework and everything works out like I think it should, we should be pretty much done with this thing 3rd week of January. So all we need to do is just kind of clean it up and get my tools and stuff together for the week. So that's pretty much it on the Trailblazer right now. So now I need to actually talk to you guys about the Cadillac. So we have been hustling hard on this thing, but I am running into a little bit of snag. Nothing major, and I think we've got it rectified. So evidently small diameter chromoly tubing is a little bit hard to get right now. And that's how we're going to be mounting our seats from the rocker bar and an inside bar up in here. So good news, I have sourced some chromoly tubing, so that way we can go ahead and we can get the seats mounted in this thing. Frankly, I already wanted to have the seats in this thing because I need to get everything welded so I can paint the cage and get this thing back together, but ran into a little snag with the tubing. Crisis averted though, it is on its way. I should have that here Monday or Tuesday, and that way we can go ahead and get that stuff kind of taken care of. Once the seats are mounted, I can weld the seat belt tabs in once the seats are positioned correctly. I've got a window net, some mounting stuff I need to put on this bar right here. And then after that point, we should be pretty close. We can go ahead and we can start prepping the cage for primer and paint. We've got a real trick color that we're going to do on this this cage here. All right, so on the intercooler tank, we pretty much got this thing wrapped up as well. So done modifying it. We got all the old holes that we weren't using filled. Got the new feed down here. So that's the new feed fitting. So that's 16A in. This little billet anodized fitting is going to screw into there. Short hose. And then this is the pump right here. So water travels through the bulkhead. Got made a little chromoly mount for it. Motion Raceworks adjustable bracket. And then this is out of the pump, feed to the front. Boom. Looking pretty good. So that is that part. And then while we're on the subject of intercooler pumps, we're actually going to be modifying some stuff up here too. So believe it or not, in these dark depths down here, there's actually a factory intercooler pump as well. The one in the back she's pretty freaking hot rod. About makes what the CLSA does. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get rid of that pump down there. Rely on just the one in the back. We're going to change some routing here. Get rid of this factory fill setup. So there is so much freaking crap underneath the hood of one of these Cadillacs. So we're going to change this up a little bit, make a little bit more room, get rid of some of this redundant stuff, try and make things mechanically a little bit more simpler. But that's kind of pretty much it on the intercooler setup. So Chuck's dropping the wedge off to do a little bit of maintenance on her before we go on the old Florida voyage. Got one little axle seal we got to do a little bit of maintenance on. And then we just need to make sure that the cars even fit on there. We probably should have done that before, but got 2 cars and a U-Haul. Not real good at math, but it ought to work out pretty good. So definitely looking forward to getting some paint on that cage, getting the interior put back in, and that'll go pretty quick once we can get everything painted. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. So underneath the hood, you know, short of that little bit of intercooler stuff we're going to do, I do have a Motion Raceworks catch tank that we're going to be swapping out for the old one that was in there. If we have time, which I doubt we will, we'll probably be putting this thing together like an hour before we need to leave to go. I do have some trick rear suspension that I do want to show you guys as well that hopefully we can get to. Not giving up on it yet, but if we have the time, we got a little treat in store for you guys as far as that goes. So that is our update on both vehicles. Wanted to be a little bit farther along on this one, but we will make it happen. Do not worry. So that is that there. Of course, we're going to be having a couple videos popping up here shortly once we get the Trailblazer tuned. And then hopefully we can even have some time to maybe go on a quick little drive just to make sure both of these cars don't break like 5 miles from home. So in the meantime, guys, as always, we greatly appreciate y'all watching the videos. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.